Crimson Aspect.
Hello.
So, kind of a franchise owner type thing. Willie is not here today. I don't know what he's doing. Anyway.
He's still be keying it up.
Yeah, I'm not sure where he went. He just said he was doing something with his family, so he will not be here for week 6. We do have to go fast here since we do have games at like 3 o'clock, so I don't want to hog the channel for too long. Press T. So we'll get started pretty quickly. AP poll was like released like 10 minutes ago for last week. I had to wait for a specific game to finish last night, and then I didn't feel like doing it. So, we'll get started here with the Athens division, starting off with Flaming Tanukis versus Skog. Speaking of games that had to finish last night, Flaming Tanukis did end up losing their undefeated streak to the Warriors of Albion. Last night, it was a 2-0 in the favor of Albion. Game 1 was very close, with Albion actually winning by a backdoor. And then Game 2, it just seemed like Albion had control from the get-go, and Tanukis couldn't really get anything going. Taking a spill like that, might hurt the mentals a little bit. I think, especially when you're playing against a team like Skogs, who's been riding high since week 1, hasn't lost yet. They've looked solid. Could be a bounce-back week for Tanukis. But I'm gonna go Skogs here. I'll ride the momentum. I like what I've seen from this team so far. So.
Yeah, I mean, Skogs did lose Dragoon, right? So that's definitely like a little bit of a hit to their team. I actually want to see this ADC matchup between Spirited Book and Omni Mythical. I'll go Skogs too, just because I'm on Team Flaming Tanukis haters.
I'm a personal Skogs believer. They do have my goat strat, but also Lycon and Mythical were part of the crew success last season, so I am believers of those two as well. So I'm Team Skogs.
And Mr. Dow.
Stayless and Icon looking good. I gotta go Team Skogs. Also riding the momentum here. I like that.
Is
Skogs sweep because Tanukis lost one game. I think Skogs have a good chance of winning this. I think Tanukis, might kind of look at that loss, especially in game 1 with like a comp that they drafted that was so like incredibly strong. I mean, that was like a really, really good comp that they had game 1, and they were unable to secure the W with it. Like, it was definitely could hurt the mentals for this team for sure. So we'll see how they bounce back, especially after like literally losing yesterday. So like in between this is like 0 prep time. So we'll see how it goes. Next we've got Wailing Banshees versus KWM. Wailing Banshees arguably the funnest team to watch in the Athens division. They turned everything into an arena game. KWM coming off of a loss to Far Out last week in a game, and said that they didn't look super comfortable on what they were playing. Just seemed like they couldn't really pull it together. I like what I've been seeing from Wailing Banshees. This team's really fun to watch. Give me the boys in black.
You know what's gonna be funny is you're gonna see 100% pick or ban rate of Nike in this set.
That is true.
We got the 2 Nike one tricks in the solo lane here. I mean, you already know what I'm going, bro. I'm going Wailing Banshees.
Mr. Craig Afro.
I gotta root for my boy Dummy Slick. Wailing Banshees here.
Are you gonna
that and Rigid
now?
Smells.
Rigid Smells.
I am excited for the Nike matchup if it gets through, but I gotta shout out Crow Zero in the mid lane. He's been looking good this season. My ranked Joust Demon partner. So give me the Banshees here.
Oh, copycats.
Also, I believe this game is being played on Monday.
Yeah.
It's being played on Monday, and Kyber is playing carry for them, not Fragnick. So, if anybody wants to change their votes now, Himothy has pulled up in the carry line. Could certainly change the dynamic for KWM. I mean, Fragnick is definitely more of like a shot caller than most ADCs. So, and Kyber is the exact opposite of that. So, we'll see how that works out for them. But yeah, get to see Armor Wolf versus Kyber, which is Armor Wolf is the ADC that Kyber beat in his first Odin division debut. So he gets to return.
Nice.
It's going to be Warriors of Albion versus the Crew. I think a definitely scrappy matchup for sure. Warriors of Albion, I mean, riding the highest of highs right now after taking a nice W last night. The Crew, I hate this team. They've just, I've always gotten their prediction wrong. Every time I vote against them, they win. So I'm voting against them again. Give me Warriors of Albion.
I mean, all right, the Crew just have like two of my favorite people on the team. They've got Storm, they've got Sandman Sam, and for that, I'm gonna go Warriors of Albion.
Mr. Craig Afro.
I gotta
rep the team.
Oregon. I gotta rep the team. Gotta show them my full belief. Even if the Warriors of Albion showing yesterday was really impressive, it was an absolute showing with the Kaizo Athena. But hopefully, they've got a plan for that.
Mr. Bow.
Moon jumping looked really good yesterday. And I have some insider information that the Crew might be subbing today, so probably gotta vote for Warriors of Albania here.
Albania.
Yeah.
Did snooze, you die.
Sorry.
They just left us.
You're good.
All right, moving on. We've got Kitsune versus Far Out. Kitsune, a team that's tumbled a little bit, kind of trying to regain their footing. I believe this is Eevee playing solo lane now, so that should be interesting.
Is it Beijing mid?
I think it's Baja mid, Eevee solo lane. And then Liz was telling me that she wanted to play solo lane for them, so not sure how that makes much of a difference, but
this was the number 1 ADC last season in Athens, so it makes sense.
All right, but I'm gonna go Far Out here, coming off of a nice win against KWM. Seems like they've kind of found their stride a little bit. This is Gabathan time, like last season. The Crew last season was struggling a little bit regular season, but it's playoff time. I mean, it's Far Out's gonna go Demon.
Yeah. All right. So I mean, Far Out looking really good, right? They got the goat Gabe Ethan, and then Destroyer starting to step his stuff up. Only two people can really beat Destroyer. It's himself and then Jay Swervy. And Kitsune doesn't have Jay Swervy, so I'm gonna go ahead and pick Far Out here.
Jay Swervy is the D5 crusher.
Yeah, he is the D5 destroyer. I don't know how he does it.
Greg Afro.
I definitely think in recent times Kitsune is in more of a rough spot, and as you said, this is Gabe Ethan prime time. I think the Far Out takes this one.
Alright, Mr. Bow.
I'm a big believer in the Bajan bloodline, and cutest Eevee's my give, so give me the Kitsune here.
The Bajan bloodline coming in big right now. All right. Hey, Bajan didn't believe in them last week, and they did end up doing it. So next up, we've got Royal Jesters versus Hanford Hairnets. Hairnets a team that I think kind of was building some momentum a little bit, and then kind of just traded away their whole team. Or like certain pieces of it now have Jehu, and I believe Imperius is playing jungle, or Glarky. I don't even know who's playing ADC for this team. Not quite sure. A little head scratch. Whereas Royal Jesters, the team that traded with Hairnets, had looked really good last week. Kind of building some momentum for the Jesters. See if they can start cooking. Give me the funny men. I like what I've been seeing from them coming off of a nice win. It was against Duna K, which isn't a super impressive win, but a win's a win. So, Mr. Hunter?
I will say, right, you were talking pre-trade Hairnets. That team had like the 7 dwarves of names. They were like Glanky, Glarpy, Glurpy, Burpy, like just everything that ends in a Y, right? But yeah, I like the Royal Jesters trades that they made, right? They kind of found a little bit of like what their issue was. They wanted a more like stable jungler, so they went and picked up a jungler. I'm pretty sure what's his name is Is Mr. Kenny back in support now, or is he still
Yes,
mid?
he is in
He is
support.
back in
Cody
support?
or
Yeah.
Reiku is in.
So they pick up a decent mid laner to play mid lane now. They move Kenny back to support, which is like probably his best role, and then they pick up a good jungler. I'm gonna go Jesters. I'm riding high on the no sex hours.
Mr. Craig Afro.
Am I right in saying that Burger Boy is on the hairnets now?
Yes, he is.
All right, I'm certified #1 Burger Boy hater, so it has to be Jesters all the way.
Mr. Bow.
You know, pre-trade hairnets with Swagger. I would have voted hairnets, but they traded Swagger, so I like the moves that the Royal Jesters did here. You gotta give me a Royal Jester.
All right, moving on. We've got Going Ghost versus Doing Okay. Two of the bottom teams. Doing Okay has not found a W yet. Going Ghost did win one game. Was hoping they would kind of start like a streak there, but apparently Dr. Dilf is just the differential for this team because didn't play 1 week, got a win, played the next week and lost. So a little bit confused on this Going Ghost team, another team that tried to shake up the roster a little bit. Grabbing Drew's Food, who I think, all things considered, has done pretty well for them so far. And whereas Doing Okay, also shaking up roster a little bit, but hasn't really found their footing quite yet. I'm going to go Going Ghost here. I think it'll be a close one. I think there's a good chance of Doing Okay walks away with the W here, but I like Going Ghost here. But
Yeah, I mean, both of these teams haven't really had a good outing. Some have been calling this game the toilet bowl of Athens. Battle for supremacy. So I'll differ from you because it looks like me and you are just bandwagoning off of each other. I'll go Doing Okay.
I think it's really close. I like Doing Okay's got some good pieces. I mean, Pepsi's obviously a great solo laner. Furballer I think has impressed a lot of people in ADC. Done a lot better considering how bad his team has been. I think he's kind of been a standout player for them. Also adding, who did they add in jungle? I know they had somebody in jungle.
Who, Doing Okay?
Yeah. Oh, Jay Swervy. That's right. They had Jay
Just
Swervy. Yeah.
They picked him up
So,
off of the block.
Yeah, not a terrible pickup there either. But Mr. Afro.
Dude.
I'm just a Dr. Dilf fan, so my votes would Going Ghost.
I think is Dr. Dilf playing this week? That's the question.
I have no idea. But
Yeah, I'm banking on him playing. That's why I went with Doing Okay.
Mr. Bow.
I'll vote for Doing Okay here. It's time for them to get a W.
There you go. Get a W. All right, moving on. We've got Warriors of Albion versus Hanford Hairnet Sparta. Both teams that ended up taking a spill this past week. Hanford Hairnet taking a 2-0 loss to the hot KWM team, and then Warriors of Albion unfortunately losing to Christopher and Far Out. I mean, the game 2 of the Warriors of Albion game was definitely scrappy. It was a fun game to watch. Unfortunately, they just kind of threw a last team fight and ended up losing the game. Hanford Hairnets kind of just got clapped. Watching the game, it was not clean. Just didn't seem like they had anything going for them for a while. So this one's a tough one because both teams are coming off of a loss. The Hanford Hairnets loss was definitely worse. But I do like this Warriors of Albion team. I'm gonna go Warriors of Albion here.
Yeah, I also think that like both teams kind of play like scrappy, like you said, or like maybe like a little like less coordinated, and I feel like that always benefits the Warriors of Albion team because they have like people like Paragon who build like the most criminally tragically bad build you ever see ever, but it'll work because the games are so sloppy and like all over the place. So yeah, I mean I feel like that's what this set's gonna be. It's gonna be very all like chaotic all over the place. I think Warriors of Albion kind of thrive in that, so I think they'll win.
Mr. Craig Afro.
I foresee an absolute brawl fest with this set, and with that said, I still think in comparison, the Hairnets are just quite a bit more rough around the edges in these scenarios. I still think they have some more stuff to figure out, than Warriors of Albion do. I think they're better at the whole mess around and brawl it out type of play style. It just seems to work for them, so my vote's with the Warriors.
I will say, Hairnets do have some good pieces. I think, like, Budweiser's always been a solid solo laner for quite some time now. Inori and Jungle kind of returning a little bit. Like, he kind of has some pop-off games. I think the issue with Inori tends to be that, you know, his god pool might be a little limited, but he's had some, like, really, really solid games for them. And then I think Boomhev, funnily enough, has impressed a lot of people at mid lane. Every time I watch Boomhev, man, he's just a funny guy. I love watching Boomhev play. He just does something goofy.
It is funniest that it's his least troll role.
Both Boomhev and Paragon build some very questionable mid lane builds. I'm not sure what's going on there, but I do like watching this Hairnets team. They are a fun team to watch. Mr. Bao.
You know, if it's a all-out arena style game, I think this benefits the Warrior of Albion more. So I gotta vote for them here.
Royal Jesters versus Far Out, and in the Spider Division, a match of powerhouses for sure. I mean, this two teams. Royal Jesters haven't lost yet. Far Out did lose one game, but certainly a team. Both teams looking really hot. Far Out coming off of a nice win against Warriors of Albion. Jesters, I don't think they played a very good team last week.
I don't think they played a good team all season.
They played Tanukis. Yeah, Far Out certainly in the tougher conference for sure. They've been battle tested a little bit more. But Jesters, I mean, they've got a great backline. Thokman and Evan, really solid backline. I think Physics has really stepped up for them as well in the solo lane. And of course they have Flippin' Ninja 7. Far Out, you know, I've kind of voted against them almost all season. Pretty much, but I'm going to go Far Out. I think coming off of a hot win, they've been battle tested. They've been here before. You know, I think they still have some issues to figure out, but, you know, I mean, a win's a win. We'll expect big things from this team. Mr. Hunter.
Yeah, look. The Far Out team at the beginning of the season, I'm like, yo, they have Helen Keller in solo lane. They've got the Delphi pull up Omni based in mid. They got St. Thomas, and then they got Tragic Owen different support. I was like, this team might be okay, right? This team might not be the best, but they'll be decent enough, right? But I mean, hey, Elite Tortuga in the jungle and Owen actually, you know, they've been doing their things. I think Owen's comms.
I think you meant to say Mr. Tortuga 4.
Yeah, Mr. Tortuga 4. Sorry. Yeah, my bad there. I'm also gonna go Far Out. I think Royal Jesters are on the easier side of the conference. Not really arguable there, in my opinion, at least. I think there's not a lot of hard competition on that side of the bracket, so they've been like their more sloppier plays haven't really been exploited or punished. And I think Far Out can kind of take advantage of that.
Yeah, I messaged Tort after that game, and I said, bro, why you just split push the whole game? Like, what are you doing, man? This man, during that set, split pushed to mid lane, in which the Phoenix was already dead. And I was like, bro, are you kidding me? Like,
he wanted no team fighting.
Like,
no action.
This man wasn't team fighting at all. Like, Mr. Craig Afro.
I think RJ needs a loss, and I believe in Fire Out to give it to them.
Yeah, that's what's nice about this interconference stuff. You know, maybe some people might call it the Mickey Conference, Mickey Division, whatever. So you know, now they get to strap up. You know, let's see what Royal Jesters got against another team from arguably the better conference, Mr.
You know, I gotta give it to my team here and shout out my Warden, but I think Stockman and Evan is just a great duo in the back line, and Physics and American team just have grown in synergy and looking undefeated, and I think they'll stay that way. Give me RJ.
All right, give me RJ. All right, moving on. We've got Skogs versus Kitsune. I think Skogs, a team that hasn't quite lived up to the hype that was generated around this team. I think that they've had some really good games. They're definitely building momentum. They do play in the tougher conference, whereas Kitsune, a team that's kind of floundered a little bit, made some trades that doesn't seem to really help the team out super much. They've moved Liz to jungle, and I know she doesn't really like that role. so I'm not really sure what's going on over at Kitsune. Skogs riding a hot hand. I think they stay hot here. Give me the boys in blue. Mr. Hunter.
Yeah. My bad. I was trying to think how I wanted to kind of phrase this, but yeah, I mean, you gotta love that, right? Liz switches the mid lane because that's the OP broken role. We're on week 6 now. Back in the jungle she goes. I mean, Liz has like mixed results when she's in the jungle, right? Some seasons you'll see her teams are like okay, but then they kind of get bounced in the first round. I mean, then she had that KWM run with Dummy where she went to finals and came up a little bit short. So I wonder, because I feel like Dummy is a really good shot caller, so I wonder who's gonna be that shot caller on that team with Liz jungling now, because I feel like if Liz gets paired with a really good shot caller, then she can excel. You know what? I'll go Kitsune. You know, I won't be a hater. I'll be on Team Liz this week.
Team Liz. Hey, you know, she does have Bryson, or Thetic Duck. I'm a big Thetic Duck fan. I love Bryson a lot. He's
Thetic Duck is the GOAT.
Mr. Craig Afro.
I am actually in the opinion, and I might be in the minority here, but I am actually in the opinion that the team was actually better with Liz playing mid. Obviously, the trades were made that I think she thought was most beneficial for the team. I still think the team could be solid. They definitely have some stuff to work out, but I feel like Skogs have been consistently playing with each other this whole time and probably figuring out their stuff without really having to make too many changes. So I think Skogs will take this one.
The thing that's always confused me about Kitsune, they have yet to have a soul laner, like an actual soul laner. Like the first they drafted Pathos, who switching from support to solo, and then they trade for Jerbear, who is also not a soul laner. So like this team just hasn't had a consistent like solo main over in that role. I think it's hurt them a lot. Like, you know, like it's tough to move over roles. You know, I mean, even if it's moving from a tank role to a tank role, like the, you know, it's different. Like, so it's tough for like supports that are switching to solo lane to be, you know, aggressive and diving and stuff because they're so used to maybe peeling or playing more towards the back. So that's the only thing it's been a head scratcher for me with KWM. I'm just not really sure like what they're doing over in the solo lane. Mr. Crimson.
You know, I think this Kitsune matchup is going to depend on how Liz plays, and because of that, like, uncertainty, I got to go with the Skogs here. They look good. Their front line looks good with Hindu and Kyle. I just gonna ride the wave here. Yeah, just Kyle.
Moving on, we've got the Crew versus Wailing Banshees.
That's us.
Wailing Banshees, you know, coming off of a loss. You know, you know, a little tough for the Banshees right now. You know, did end up losing to the boys in blue last week. I still think this is a solid team. Obviously, they've got Hunter, but they've got Dakota, my goat, over the dual lane. Love Dakota, and then Ultralord Bob. You know, he's a KWM legend as well. So I'm gonna go the boys in black. I think Crew seems to have some. Like, I guess they walked away with a win last week in which they were not exactly particularly proud of that win against Kitsune. And so I think I'm going to go the boys in black. I think this is a bounce back week for them.
Look. We may have lost once. We may have lost twice. But there's no way the boys are losing 3 times in a row, right? Surely not. Also, we have Roman back now, our starting support. So now all the claims that I was blaming Rush and Duck for our losses, now we're gonna be fixed, right? So now we can't lose. We got my support back.
Mr. Craig Afro.
We're gonna absolutely maul Hunter Big Malls.
What the?
Whoa!
Yep.
All right, Val. You breaking the tie, or you going with the Crew?
Yeah. I'll have to break the tie here. You know, I'm a big fan of Roman. So, Hunter, you better prove me right here.
All right.
I'll try.
All right. We've got Flaming Tanukis versus Going Ghost. This game is currently going on right now. I don't know who won game 1, but I believe it's probably in game 2. Both teams are winless, so it's really a toss-up at this point. Who's actually going to win this game? I think Tanukis, I mean, both teams made a bunch of roster changes right before the trade deadline, and I feel like both teams didn't really benefit from those roster changes as much. Moving Idrox to mid lane, no longer in the jungle. He's kind of had an up and down experience over in the mid lane, but they do get Pathos and support. Underclass is now their jungler as well, so I think Ghost has some pieces, whereas Flaming Tanukis, I just got a lot of question marks. I mean, now we've got Bankable in support. Wobble is playing mid. Wobble's done pretty good for them so far. Mama Spaghetti over in the ADC. I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna go Ghost here. Like,
yeah.
Like, I don't know. There's something's going on over there in Tanukis that it's not really feeling.
I actually love what Going Ghost did. Alright, so during their draft, when they got Slash Face, I was like, perfect. They got a good solo laner. Now they're gonna put Drox in the mid lane. And then when they drafted Helanu, I was like, oh, we running this story back again. Drox knows too. Even Drox knows. Traded Helanu, going back to mid. I think Drox, if he's in mid or solo lane, he's like a top 5 player in this roles. Jungle, I don't think it is like his best role, at least in my personal opinion. But I think the Ghosts are gonna win this too. I think Ghosts have, if you look at their players, they have Looney Tunes, who made it to finals last season and was like a top ADC. Drox, who's a really good player, and then you have Mr. Slash Goat in the solo lane, who has been a top player every season in Sparta / Thor division. So I think they have the good pieces. It's just getting them to play together.
This is Greg Afro.
I'm with you guys. I think it's a GG win as well. These were definitely two teams that I honestly expected a lot more of from the start of the season, so it's definitely surprising that they've gone to this point, but hey, who knows, they might be able to bring it back with the roster changes, but the Tanukis one is definitely way more interesting to me.
I think with Going Ghost, the thing was, like, they were always able to take games off of the top teams. They were just never able to close out. I mean, they had so many sets where they were losing 2-1 against teams that were really solid. And then they make the roster move and still lose 2-1. So, it's like, it's almost like they kind of stayed in the same spot. Especially, like, last week losing to Duna K, who, I mean, those two were both winless last week as well. So, just really, really kind of tough for them. It's tough to lose like that. Losing so many close games, just unable to get a W. So, hopefully they bounce back this week. Mr. Crimson Aspect.
I'm kind of with you on this one. Going Ghost had a bunch of 2-1s that, maybe could have gone either way. So, but I think they pull it out this week here.
All right.
A sweeping GG win.
Sweeping GG.
Yeah, sweeping.
Next, we've got KWM versus Duna K. Talked about it earlier. KWM riding hot after beating the boys over at Hanford Hairnets. I'm gonna go KWM here. I think they stay hot. Duna K did get their first win of the season, and honestly, I've said it once. I do like what Duna K, another team that really shook up the roster, and I like what they have. I mean, Rapture, moving over from Warriors of Albion, he had a really good week 1. It was kind of a trade target for a lot of teams looking for a jungler. You've got Airhead, who's always been a really good mid, literally won last season, and then Double Mumble also moving over from Albion. He had a really good season for them. I don't know if it's just scheduling issues or what's going on, but he hasn't really suited up for them quite yet. So I think this team at full roster can really turn some heads. They just need their full roster.
Yeah. I mean, they did lose Double. He got traded over, but yeah, I definitely like the trade too. They got a hole in their jungle. What happened to the last jungler? I don't even remember. Couldn't tell you. But so they lost their jungler. So filling that hole and then still getting at least a soul laner who can at least play and compete. Right, Double Mumble. Didn't do bad when he was playing for Warriors of Albion. So I do like those two pieces. But yeah, I mean, I'm a Kyber stan. I still believe in Bo too. Though, though Bo's been having some interesting games to say the least, but I believe, bro, this is the week KWM for me.
Mr. Craig Afro.
I'm a big KWM fan this season. I think their team's like really cool, really fun. I think the roster changes made a huge difference for them.
Mr. Crimson Aspect.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Aiden, the support there. Yeah, big Delphi move up here. So
Aiden is a
yeah,
legend. I ain't gonna
gotta
lie.
give me KWM here. He cooked, so
From
I think he
the
cooked this week
depths
too.
of the Delphi bench to starting Sparta. What a glow up for Aiden B2V. Nah, Aiden's a dog for sure. I mean, I think he really helped this team in terms of comms, especially. He talks a lot, which is what they were really lacking. I think adding Twisted Fate as well, who's another talker, really kind of helped Kyber and Bo like in the backline a lot. So I like what they've done so far. And like I said, coming off of a win against a Hairnets team that maybe not like again like the conference that Hairnets and Jesters and KWM play in isn't like super strong. But Hairnets was a team that was definitely turning some heads for weeks for a while. So nice win for them. Moving on to Delphi Division, we've got Doing Okay versus KWM. Doing Okay coming off of a loss to, I believe, Far Out. Or no, Flaming Tanukis. They're coming off of a two loss streak. First to Far Out and then to Flaming Tanukis. I think with Doing Okay, I still think they have really good pieces. They've got Joker, David, JLD, the GOAT, and ADC. Things Go Booms look solid for them in solo lane, so they definitely have some pieces. But this KWM roster in Delphi looks almost unbeatable. They've been cruising all season. I think they stay cruising.
Yeah, I mean, Doing Okay. They made the trade with the Wailing Banshees, giving us good old Cyborg. So, we got. I think that trade. They look decent 1 week, right? I think they played 2 weeks since that trade, right? They look decent 1 week with that trade. Then the next week they look a little more rough around the edges. I think KWM and their losses too. They've been missing a couple of key pieces too each time they've lost. I think Bracking wasn't there 1 week, which I think is a massive hit to that team. So I'm gonna go ahead and go with KWM too. I think when they're 5 strong, if they're gonna show up 5 strong, I don't know if they are, but when they're 5 strong, I feel like this is a tough team to beat.
All right, Mr. Craig Afro.
I think the KWM Delphi team has been pretty strong looking the whole season. Doing okay. They had a strong start, but I feel like they're on a slow decline, and they need to sort of figure out how to stop that. But I think this game's in favor of KWM.
Mr. Bell.
I think the KWM roster looks really solid. It could be a good game though, but I think I gotta go KWM here.
Yeah, I think Doing Okay Delphi is definitely a team that a lot of people didn't expect to be super good, and like they've definitely turned up. Like David and Carries looked really strong for them. Cyber looked really good for them before he was shipped out. But Simple Fate has had some really good games as well. So they definitely have some pieces over there. I think it really just comes down to like how well their side lanes can play, because it's kind of where I'm looking at for them with Things Go Boom and David. Like they kind of seem to be the bell cows for the team. So we'll see what they're able to do. Next we've got Flaming Tanukis versus Kitsune. I think another matchup that is definitely something to watch, because Kitsune, I mean, it seemed their only loss was to KWM, but to be honest, they were using like a Crete sub and an FA, so it's kind of tough to say that it was a loss to really be concerned about. Flaming Tanukis coming off of a nice win against Doing Okay. This was kind of like the trio of teams that a lot of people expected in Delphi, KWM, Flaming Tanukis, and Kitsune, kind of being the powerhouse top 3. And I think they've kind of returned to that, so I'm really excited to see this matchup. But I'm actually going to go Flaming Tanukis here. I really like the combination of Skull and Ninja XK in the mid-jungle matchup. I think those two players are looking really good. Plus, you've got Rough Marshmallow, who's a solid solo laner for them as well. So, give me the boys in orange.
Yeah. I'm also probably gonna go the Tanukis here. I think Yeah. Go ahead. I was about to say, I think this is gonna be really close. I think this honestly might go 3. Um, yeah, I just again, I think the thing with the Tanukis is Mr. Skull. He's had the same God pool for about 3 years now. I played with him many moons ago. He's got the exact same God pools then, but the issue is, right, they have Ninja, like you said, they have Marshmallow, so it's just really difficult to ban out that God pool that he has, and he just kind of gets whatever God he wants every game.
Mr. Craig Afro.
I actually think Kitsune took this one. I think the Kitsune team is really solid. I think both teams have like an issue here or there, but if either side manages to sort those issues out, then it should be a really good game. But I foresee it going 2-1 Kitsune. I am a fan of players on both teams. I'm a big Skull fan. Played with him a long time ago myself, but I've just seen too many things that show me that Kitsune probably has the edge.
Yeah, the thing about Kitsune that's interesting is like they have Adora and Drezzy, and again like another mid jungle matchup, and two teams that a lot of people didn't really see coming out of the woodwork this season, and they've been like absolutely popping. I mean, Adora's looked really good in jungle. Drezzy's looked great in mid for them as well, and I think the question mark for them is solo lane because I think they keep like, I know Poe the bro was on vacation, so I think he's back. I'm not quite sure, but they keep swapping out pieces here and there. But yeah, I think they have a really strong roster as well. Mr. Crimson Aspect.
I think the mid 2v2 is going to be a really good one to watch here, but I think from that I got to give it to Ninja and Skull out of that. So give me the Tanukis.
All right. Moving on, we've got the crew versus. I'm pretty. Wait, I can't. I might be mistaken, but didn't Tanukis play against Kitsune in the original tournament?
I think so.
I
Yeah.
think they did. I think Fluent Tanukis won. I
Yeah,
could be
yeah,
wrong, but I know
I think so too. I could be wrong too, but because it's below
Kitsune
Spartan
won.
division.
Okay,
so I
they
don't
did.
want-
They did play, but Kitsune won. Okay.
Ah.
But yeah, this is a rematch of that final. So next we've got the crew versus Hanford Hairnets. Hanford Hairnets coming off of a win against Skogs. It was a 2-1, and Skogs are our winless team, so a little questionable there. But the crew do end up losing 2-0 to a very strong Kitsune team, and the crew crew Delphi kind of all over the place. I'm not quite sure what's going on over there. Seem to pull up with a different roster every week. But I'm gonna go the boys on Hairnets. I think they've got some solid pieces that I'm excited to see. They recently added Kings from Where's Albion. I think is an absolutely fantastic mid laner for Delphi division. So super excited to see him. And Pushka has been a solid AC for them as well. So give me the boys in Hanford.
Yeah. I think that King's trade was a little criminal that they basically got him for for almost like nothing in terms of value. But I mean, hey, it is what it is, right? I think Hairnets are a much better team now with that trade. I feel like they were lacking a little bit in that backline damage kind of department, and King just kind of fills that hole pretty massively now. But yeah, I'm probably gonna have to go with Hanford Hairnets too. I'm a big Lou fan, but I just feel like there's a disconnect maybe in like shot calling or communication with the crew that I feel like they just kind of sat down and worked on that. Their team could be a lot better because on paper they have really good players.
Well, as their Oregoner, they may be a bundle of idiots. They may have a different roster every week, but they have a synergy. They have a synergy and a vibe that no other team has, and I believe in my bundle of idiots to win.
There you go. That's all you need. All right.
Can't vote against you.
The Crimson Aspect.
I gotta go with the Hairnets here. I think the King's trade just looks really good for this roster.
All right. Next we've got Far Out versus the Wailing Banshees in the Delphi division. Far Out, a team that's kind of coming off of a loss to the Royal Jesters. Now having they traded for a new ADC as well, I believe. So shaking up the roster a little bit at the deadline there. Wailing Banshees did beat Going Ghost. They do have Cyber as well. They also have my GOAT Jesse J Penn. You know, I'm a big Jesse J Penn fan. This is kind of tough because I feel like, I mean, Wailing Banshees is a team that hasn't really like pulled it together a lot this season in Delphi Division. But I mean, they're coming off of a nice win. I might go against the grain here, but I'm gonna vote for the Wailing Banshees. Give me a Jesse J Penn differential right now.
Well, I'm sorry that I'm gonna have to burst your bubble a little bit here. But our squad is gonna be beaten and battered this week. We're losing out on a couple people here. We might not have our support, or we're not gonna have our support. Cyber maybe not be able to make it. Got some family. It
sounds
party
like
going
I'm
on.
voting for Far Out. Change my vote right there.
Let's just say we're coming in scrapping with some boys from all walks of life. We're gonna say here. I'm still gonna go the Banshees, though. It's gonna be a battle. I assume if we're winning, it's going 3 in order to win.
Mr. Craig Afra.
It's gonna be a far out vote for me here. With the inside information, I feel there is a little bit too much of a struggle for the Banshees to pull through this one.
We're pulling up with a squad, I swear.
Crimson aspect.
With the information I just got, I was gonna vote Banshees, but with that uncertainty, you gotta give me the Far Out boys here.
All right. Going Ghost versus Skogs. Delphi Division. Skogs have not secured a win. Going Ghost had 1 win in week 1. Since then, have not secured a win either. Skogs do increase, get a nice roster change with Awesome Luke going over to ADC for them. So I think that'll really help them for sure. I like the Skogs here. I think that trade helps them a lot. Going Ghost, the team hasn't quite figured it out.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind what Going Ghost did, right? They kind of took the core of that Crete team that kind of dominated last season in Crete. They kind of took the core of that team and then just kind of filled the void with a pretty decent solo laner, right? I just think that there is a massive like skill jump, right, from Crete. Basically from any division to any division, there is kind of that like jump in skill. So I think the issue with them was they thought that they could kind of fill that gap when it's a lot harder to kind of make that jump into the higher divisions and be a relatively good team. So I'm gonna have to go with the Skogs too. I think Awesome Luke is probably one of the best ADCs in this division, and he's on a pretty good team to kind of fill him out.
Yeah, I think when you look at Skogs, you definitely. I mean, this is a team that stays scrappy in their games. They just can't seem to win. I think with Awesome Luke and Hockaday as the backline, I mean, Sneaky Dream's always been a solid jungler as well. So I definitely think you have some good pieces there. I believe they have Sidengraph over in support as well. So I think some nice pieces putting into place for Skogs. Maybe primed to make a nice little run here coming into the play-in. Mr. Craig Afro?
I have to agree. I feel that Awesome Luke trade was very big for the Skogs team, and I feel it is exactly what they need to breathe life back into that team. My vote's for the Skogs.
Real quick on a side note, is this next game even going to be getting played after?
What, Warriors of Albion versus Jesters?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
I thought I read that wrong. Yeah, okay.
No idea.
Mr. Crimson, what's your vote?
I think we shook up the rosters really well here with the Awesome Luke trade. I think we fixed some of our issues by moving some of our players around here. I think this is the week we get a dub.
The week that the Skogs Delphi team secures a W. Moving on to Delphi Division, Royal Jesters versus Warriors of Albion. This is a pretty easy one for me. Royal Jesters got a nice win last week. I think they ride the momentum here. Give me them. against the Albion.
Yeah. I don't even know if Warriors of Albion are showing up. I saw in Dumpy Chat that they aren't. A couple like last week, I think maybe. Like beginning of last week. So I'm gonna go ahead and assume that they aren't gonna show up, or if they do, they're just gonna kind of mess around and have fun with it. So I'm gonna go Jesters too.
Mr. Craig Afro.
Gotta agree. I believe this game's for the Jesters as well.
I think in order for the Jesters to lose, they're gonna have to show up with like 5 ADCs. I think.
Yeah, I'm with the Jesters on this one too. Even if the Warriors of Albion show up, I think the Jesters roster is just better.
The division we all know is here.
Yeah.
I don't know if Liz is watching the stream or not, but I have no idea what you're talking about. Just send me a DM asking or telling me that the AP was wrong. Not
AP
this. The
wrong.
ones in the whatever. I don't know.
From last
Anyway,
week.
I guess. I don't know.
Of course, she's looking at that.
Moving on, we've got the Crew versus Going Ghost Crete. This is an easy one for me. Crew's looked really, really solid in the Crete division. Give me the Crew.
Yeah. My bad. I forgot it's my turn now. Yeah. Going. What's going on with Going Ghost? Are they just like, are they just taking a back seat this season? I feel like every season I watch Going Ghost, they win at least Crete every single time, and then maybe like Athens too. They like make a push and almost always win that too. This season, I mean, I don't think there's like a single team in here that's like dominant for the Going Ghost side. I'm also gonna go the Crew. I haven't gone the Crew in any of my picks, so I'll give the Ogre Green some love here.
Craig Afro, obviously we know what you're going.
It's my Crete team. That's my Demon Squad. They're going crazy. I believe in them.
The Scrimson.
No, I think Going Ghost is struggling, so I got to complete the Crew sweep here.
There we go. We got a Crew sweep. Love to see it. Alright, I think the Crete matchup of the week up next here. Got Royal Jesters versus KWM. Got Jungle Jimmy versus Trap Bunny and Blizzado. Really Demon Time Royal Jesters team right now. I mean, that team's definitely electric for sure. KWM, bro, like that's a scrappy team. Just every game looks like a toss-up, and they somehow win it every time. Just love to see it from the boys in KWM. They've got Zelda, Jungle Jimmy, the GOAT. Eagle Wars had a really great season so far in solo lane as well. I'm tempted to go for the Jungle Jimmy just because I love Jungle Jimmy. So I'm gonna go Jungle Jimmy. Every time I doubt this team, they somehow win. I doubted them last week against Skogs because Skogs was hot, and they beat them.
Yeah, I mean, like also in Crete, I don't know what it is, but they have some of the most like interesting names ever, right? Like you'll go up in the Athens and it'll be like pretty standard, basic names, like nothing too crazy. You come down here and you got Trap Bunny, you got all these
Orphan Crippler.
Yeah, Lay Orphan Crippler, like you name it, you've just got the oddball Napa Know-How, just all these odd names. But yeah, I'm gonna go Jesters. I think Jesters have been looking relatively good all season. I don't think I've seen them really slip up all too much. I'm gonna believe in them. I have the confidence in the clowns.
Mr. Afro.
I think both these squads are really solid. I think the KWM team is really, really solid. They gave the Crew, my boys, a really solid set, and of course if they've worked on stuff from since then, I feel they'll give us a really good showing today. I'm actually gonna give my vote to KWM.
All right.
I think the jungle matchup between Jungle Jimmy, the GOAT, and Trap Bunny is gonna be a really good one this week. But I think the Royal Jesters, I'm pretty sure they're undefeated. I gotta keep riding their streak here.
All right. Moving on, we've got Skogs versus Warriors of Albion. Where's Valbion coming off of a nice win? They did end up beating Ghost last week, so nice W for them. They're kind of, getting hot here a little bit towards the end. But Skogs, a team that did lose, but I still think this is a really solid roster. I've always been a big Acer fan over in Duo. Acer's my dog. Give me the boys in blue. This is a Skogs sweep week for me, which never happens. So we'll see how this goes.
Warriors Valbion. I think that team is surprisingly pretty sneakily good. They lost their first round draft pick in Bug. They ended up Nappa getting traded over to us, but then they still got Mr. Neptune Spine, who in my opinion is still a top 2-3 mid laner. So for all the losses that they've had, this team is still relatively good. I'll be nice here. I'll go Warriors of Albion.
They also have Swagmaster Uwu, so
yeah, exactly. Just another classic.
That's a good name.
That's a household name, right?
That's a household name.
Mr. Craig.
I think both teams are actually pretty solid, and obviously, as Hunter said, Warriors of Albion still actually were doing relatively decent even after losing a player and having to do some roster mix-up. I think I'd seen the Skogs play early on in the season. I actually still think they're a really solid squad, so I'm gonna give my vote to the Skogs.
Yeah, Skogs were a team that at the beginning the tournament absolutely cruised through everybody in that beginning tournament. It's best of ones. You can't take it super seriously, whatever. But they were cruising, and then week 1 come out and lose, and just since then haven't really entirely put it together. Also, they didn't have their first round pick play last week against KWM in Cthulhu Empire, so I think he's still on the team. But yeah, so
He is.
yeah, it's a team that I think has kind of not played up to what they were capable of. But if there's any time to do it, it's now. So, Mr. Bow.
I think they had a tough loss last week to Jungle Jimmy and the boys.
It's tough to beat Jungle Jimmy.
That is true. But I think this week they bounce back. They catch a dub here.
All right.
Gonna give it to the boys.
Moving on, we've got Kitsune versus Wailing Banshees in the Creek division. I've kind of always underestimated this Wailing Banshees team. Not particularly any reason for that. I just, for some reason, just never really vote for them. Kitsune, a team that kind of was at the top for a while, then took a couple spills. I still got a really solid roster. Bunny Tush and Aurora or Sypha look really good. Waddle, the overseas hand cannon from New Zealand in the jungle. Love to see him. But they also have somebody named Lee Orphan Crippler, which not a huge fan of that name, but I've underestimated Banshees. I think I love Wolfie. I'm a big Wolfie stan. Give me the boys and Banshees.
Yay! Yeah, our team, I think scrims, VOD reviews, gets coaching for them more than every division probably combined for an org. Like we do 2 to 3 scrims a week, coaching during all those, like a VOD review once or twice during the week. That team lives on the game. I have faith in them. I think out of all of our orgs, they have the highest chance to win it all, in my opinion.
Sounds like you're going Wailing Banshees. All right.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like, yeah.
I have heard the Banshee squad are scrim demons. They put in the work, they put in the effort, and I have seen that Kitsune has been struggling a little bit for these past couple weeks. Feel they need to regain the composure, but I still feel the Kitsune squad is really solid. But with that information in hand, I have to give it to the scrim demons.
Scrim demons take it, Mr. Bow.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Wolfie, my good friend of mine, so I think they cook this week too. Gonna vote for the Scrim Demons.
Yeah, we love Wolfie. I think this might be the first Wolfie sweep. Love to see it.
It is.
We love Wolfie. All right, moving on. We've got Dunakay versus Flaming Tanukis. Flaming Tanukis, I think, a Crete team that a lot of people expected to kind of shake the room this season. I mean, they have Bathwater, who doesn't really seem to shoot up for the team that much. They have Mustard as well, or Hennessy Chugger is his new name. So I think they've got some pieces. I just feel like they pull up with the different roster every week, and I just don't really think this team has played to what I thought they were capable of doing. Doing okay, I think is a scrappy team. They've got some solid pieces. Chef Baba, the Sparta goat from last week apparently, according to Mr. Christopher. I think with what Dunakay has, Arconic Prince as well, Cat 4200, the most winningest rat player ever. Like they've got some talent over there and doing okay. I'm gonna go the boys.
Yeah, you said it right there. Doing okay has the Crojiro of the Crete division at 4,200. I don't know how they manage to do it, but they find a way to win all the time. Every season, I see Cat 4,200 in the finals. I'm gonna go doing okay. I don't know what voodoo, what magic Cat 4,200 has, but that person knows how to make a team win, and so I think doing okay can take this one.
Outsurge, you just happen to go up against Jungle Jimmy, bro. It is what it is. Like you can't beat Jungle Jimmy. Like he's too good.
Yeah, Jungle Jimmy is another breed.
Another breed. Mr. Craig Afro.
I think this Tanuki squad has just had a bit of a travesty this season. I just feel like they haven't been able to bring it together at all. I gotta agree with you guys. I feel the Dunakay takes this one.
Dunakay's got certified bucket getters, and the Crojiro of Crete. Love to see it. Mr. Bao, are you completing the sweep?
I will not be completing the sweep here. I gotta go for Tanukis here.
Oh.
I think they're gonna shake the room this week. Hennessy Chugger probably gonna cook.
Who paid you? Just curious.
Dude,
I gotta shake the room here, man.
Is Seth throwing you some money over there? What's going on here?
I think so.
He might have sent me a raccoon or two. We'll see.
All right.
Dude,
Well, next up
say
we've
that
got.
team,
Yeah, what's up?
my bad. I was gonna say that team name: Hennessy Chugger, Chugger. Then you have Bud Light Guzzler, and then Red Pepper and Obama. If that's not a winning
And
team,
Bathwater for sale as well.
and Bathwater, yeah. If that's not winning off of team names alone, I don't know what is.
And I believe it's pronounced CPAG, but seepage as well as a little. That's a crazy name. Next up, we've got Far Out versus Hanford Hairnets. I actually, before last week, I didn't even realize. I thought that this Far Out team was really had a really good win loss. They've only won one set this week or this season, which is genuinely surprising to me because that roster looks pretty sick. I mean, you've got Juan, who from the last season was on a really solid Far Out team. Phoenix Ruin, great mid laner. KOS or Kos Zebra or whatever, he's a solid solo laner. And then you've got Woomhev, Doomhev, whatever, the goat of jungle. Didn't play last week, but I just thought that this team would kind of shake the room, and I didn't realize that they haven't done the games. So I'm gonna go Far Out anyway. Hanford Hairnets, a team that's I feel like they have a different roster every week as well. They kind of just keep switching out players in and out, and so I like the boys in Far Out here. I think they'll end up getting a dub.
Yeah, no. Far Out's really weird. I think the one set they did win, Woomhev dropped a 70k damage game on Susano. It was something ridiculous like that, and that's the set they ended up winning. I mean, that team like you said, that team has some really good pieces. It just seems like every game it's somebody who's doing the heavy lifting on that team, and then not a whole lot is coming out of the rest of the squad. I feel like if they can finally piece it together, and what better week to piece it together than the last week of the regular season? Give me Far Out.
Let's go. Mr. Craig Afro.
Last week I witnessed Hairnets play a Danza solo. So I've just got to go out and say it, but I believe Fire has this one in the bag.
You think so?
I think so.
Alright, Crimson Aspect.
I'm gonna complete the far out sweep here. Too many roster changes. Yeah.
Alright. Nice W coming out from Far Out Creek to round us out here. Don't have a ton of time to... Actually, we've got 20 minutes. We did pretty good on time. Not too bad. The AP poll for last week is already released if you want to go take a look at that. The Sparta division, or was it... Which one was like the one that everybody lost? I think it was Sparta, where like a bunch of the top teams just lost.
Yeah.
So there were definitely some shakeups over in the Sparta division. You got some really hot teams. KWM Sparta looking really, really hot. Far Out as well, getting the win over Warriors of Albion. Christopher finally coming true with the beating of Warriors of Albion. So Sparta was really interesting last week. Athens is heating up as well. I think there's like top 6, potentially 7, depending on what crew team we get, are all like contenders. So kind of crazy to see those teams dominate. Wailing Banshees get to play against KWM this week, so it should be really exciting.
It'll be a good game.
Yeah, that'll be a fun watch for sure. Excited to see those teams play out, and then everything else not super crazy. Get to see Jungle Jimmy suit up against Royal Jesters, I think, in Crete. That'll be a really good matchup, top 3 matchup.
Jesters Far Out, Sparta will be good.
Jesters Far Out, oh yeah, that's probably the matchup of the week, I would say. With Jesters Far Out, and then we have to see how well Tanuki's Athens bounce back after taking an L. Like literally last night. If it was a week ago, I'd be like, okay, I think they, kind of recover a little bit. But the fact that it was last night is scary, because it's like, man, hopefully they kind of learn from the mistakes that they made in that, and maybe they won't get backdoored. That'll probably help. But thank you all for watching. Good luck in the games. This stream will be back on in like literally 20 minutes for the set. And next week we've got play-ins, so a lot of these games do have playoff implications. I was gonna dive into it, but we didn't have a ton of time, so I kind of just left the playoff part out. But just take a look at the challenges and stuff, and you can do your own math, and you can figure out who has a chance to make it and who not. Just keep in mind that the top 2 teams from each conference are the ones that automatically make playoffs, so they will not be playing in the play-in. All the other 8 teams will be playing in the play-in. So, be super excited to see how these games turn out. Some of these teams, I think the most egregious one that I saw was KWM Sparta, who has the chance to somehow make it to second from like 5th place. If like everybody loses and they win, they can squeeze into second. So that division's like super close in terms of points. So that's kind of exciting. But yeah, good luck to everybody playing in their games, and we'll see you in about 20 minutes here. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.